Hi to my new video. In this video I'm going to talk about Flatpak and Flatseal. What it is, what its uses are, etc. So go have fun. Yeah. Whenever you try to install packages from your app store of your Linux distro, may it be Software Center, may it be Discover, whatever. On some apps you have the choice between installing a Flatpak and a native program. And yeah, what is a Flatpak? What are its uses? What are its benefits? Its downsides? How does it compare to native programs? When should you consider buying one over the other and when not? This is what this video is going to be about. And then I'm also going to talk about Flatseal, the permission manager. So yeah, let's go. Whenever you install a package, a native program inside a Linux distro, it will install into the main drive of your operating system. Now you have the root directive of your system, and in which you install packages, programs, and dependencies. What do I mean with that? For example, you install an audio plugin. That's the audio plugins, and as a dependency, you also co-install a browser, internet browser. Why do you do this? Because, for example, this audio plugin needs to access the internet through the browser dependency to access the internet, so it can access its servers for authentication, for license key, whatever, something like that. And yeah, the thing is, you install them directly onto your operating system, which means they have direct access to your system, obviously. Now, what is a Flatpak and how is a Flatpak different than, a native program? If a developer wants to create a program, a native program for each Linux distro, may it be Debian, Sournoise, which is Ubuntu-based, for Fedora, for Arch Linux, whatever, then you need to make small adjustments for each Linux distro so that it works on each Linux distro. And which means that each Linux distro has some different variations of the dependencies, because, for example, Arch Linux is far more up to date than Debian is, for example, and yada yada yada. And that means that, for example, it can very easily happen that you make it work on Debian-based distros, but it won't work on Arch-based or whatever, something like that. So how do you bypass this? You use Flatpak. With Flatpak, you have one universal packaging system on all Linux distros. What does that mean? For example, you install Krita, a drawing program, as a Flatpak on your operating system. What does it mean? The program Krita is the same on each Linux distro because it is a Flatpak. So the developer only need to manage one version, and it works on every Linux distro as a Flatpak. Then additional benefits you have that it's isolated from your main operating system, with the exceptions of some permission, with which you manage these via Flatseal as a permission manager, which additionally gives you far more control over your programs inside your operating system when they are installed via Flatpak than how you would have them over native programs. For example, you want to install Discord, for example, and you only want to say, I'm only allowing you this and this permissions, but not the other ones. So it can be extremely helpful. And since a Flatpak is more or less isolated from your operating system, it gives you far more security, privacy, benefits than you would have them as a native program, and which is really something to consider. And one huge benefit of a Flatpak is, with a native program, if you install it, you need to install a package and then go on the hunt for dependencies. Maybe it will co-install them, maybe not. Maybe some of them are outdated in some rare cases, especially if you're working with older packages. You do not have this problem with Flatpak, because a Flatpak, if you install it, a Flatpak is its own bubble, basically, which comes together with all its dependencies, so it works from the get-go. You can think about the host to Flatpak relationship as an island to continent relationship. The continent, your host operating system, and the island, the Flatpak system, all the Flatpaks. And with Flatseal, the permission manager, you open different trading routes. I mean, it's a weird comparison, but you know where I'm going at. And this brings me to Flatseal. Flatseal is in and of itself a Flatpak with special properties because it manages the permissions each of your Flatpaks have over your system. For example, if you want to access external drives so that this certain Flatpak app has the ability to work on additional external drives, for example, you need to give it, in the file system settings, extra benefits, extra permissions, so it can access those. And yeah, this is how you work with that. A Flatpak is basically a container with which, a centralized container, so that one kind of program works on each Linux distro. What is a container? I've made a video about it in the description. You can find it. I've talked about, the advantages of a Flatpak. It comes together with its all dependencies. It gives you privacy, control, etc. Better overview over the permissions this program has of your operating system. What are its downsides? Now, since each Flatpak comes together with its own dependencies bundled together, it requires way more, data storage on your, storage devices. Something to consider. And of course, I will also show you some, commands to use with Flatpak, some certain to manage these and work with them, and yeah. So, yeah, whenever you're working with an app store, etc., or just generally try to install packages, on some you might have the choice between native plugins and Flatpaks. Now, at first, I'm going to install Discover, which is on KDE or for KDE and App Store. So, whenever you try to install packages, for example, the VLC player installs from Flathub, which means it is a Flatpak. So here you have the choice, on some programs, okay, yeah, there is a drop-down menu in which you can choose if you want to install the native version or the Flatpak version. But installing it via, an app store is not the only way to install Flatpaks. And at first, on Arch Linux, which is the distro, the EndeavorsOS, which is the distro I'm working on, in the description you can find the same setups for Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, and blah blah blah. So, sudo pacman -s flatpak. Close this. Open the terminal, open a browser of your choice. Go to Flathub. You have the choice between graphics and photography, audio and video, games, emulation, drawing, etc. Just, open a new tab, the PSP emulation, Discord, for example, or the top bottles, which I'm going to talk about in the next video, and Flatseal, which is right now really important. Just copy paste it here, enter, 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 and voila, it's downloading. So, and you can install packages in parallel. And here you can find, for drawing, gaming, working, business, for example, portal for Teams, email client, only Office, especially Microsoft Office alternative, Obsidian for writing, etc. So there are lots of options here, and you install all of them the same way. Now let me give you some examples. For example, these are my drives. This here, EndeavorsOS, is the main boot drive. As you can see, this here is the root directive of the entire operating system. Now, at first, I wanted to install via Bottles. In next video, I'm going to make a tutorial about Bottles, which in and of itself is a Flatpak, but I wanted to... okay, I had .ex files, Windows programs stored on this drive here. And I wanted to install it in Bottles, which is stored here. And the problem is, because at first it did not work, because the Flatpak bottles did not have permission to access the other drives. So what I had to do was open Flatseal. So it's here open. And file system data, file system host, and to enable this, and now it works. What I mean to show with this, if a Flatpak, here you can see the list of all the Flatpaks you have installed. If a certain Flatpak does not work properly, does not have access to a drive, to an external device, does not, for example, it needs GPU acceleration, etc. Then via Flatseal, you give this Flatpak the necessary permission. And this is, you can set all of the settings individually for all the programs and packages, which is, really important. And yeah, but gives you thereby way more control. Yeah, this here is a brutalized simplification of the Flatpak system. Because here you have, the user inputs, the commands, the keyboard, the mouse inputs, the command inputs, etc. of your system, of the user, etc. And all of them are running through the main system. The main system, on which the native programs are installed to, with all its dependencies, etc. All the distro-dependent modification to each program, etc. And then they come to the output, for gaming, the graphical results. For example, you press a button, the main system says this should happen here and there, and something happens here. But as you can see, the Flatpak system is generally completely isolated from the main system. So the user inputs, etc., it does its own thing, and then it gets to the output. So, they are generally completely independent of each other. But here you can see something, Flatseal permission. You can open up some holes, basically, between these two. For example, you need to access other drives to enable GPU acceleration, etc. There, in some instances, you open up holes so that Flatpak can directly access your main system. I mean, if you enable all the functions, it will completely lose its function, its original, but you can selectively from each individually installed Flatpak. This is, generally what you're doing with this. Thanks for watching this video. Keep working, because there are still much to sudo, and go read Berserk.